Good afternoon, everyone. I take it we're live. You caught me by surprise there. Just about 10 seconds before we're due to go live, my son said, I'm hungry. So you can imagine, can't you, what was said. So good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're all well. Hello, everybody. Marilyn, Tracy, Joe, Maxine, Jackie, Chris, everyone. Hello, everyone. I hope you're all well. So today's a different day. I hope you're having a good one, whatever you've been doing so far. We've got lots to show you today in studio. We're going to be using the fabulous step-by-step stairs again, so if you are crafting along, grab your stamps and your little bits and bobs. And we're going to create two lovely cards today, hopefully. So for those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Toni and I'm a guest presenter over on Create and Craft, and I love anything to do with craft, paper, dyes, particularly pens, pencils, watercolour, anything to colour with. I'm obsessed. So, and I know a lot of you are at home, that's why you tune in and week out. So a couple of announcements to let you all know about. We've had some good stuff come through today, so I just need to let you all know that unfortunately tomorrow there won't be a studio. You will still be able to see me, but there will be no studio here in Wakefield. I will be on Create and Craft. So it's a little bit of a short notice one. But I'm on Create and Craft tomorrow at 3:45. So set your recorder, because it's products that we've already launched. So if you have got them already, you can sit back and take the inspiration away from the show. So 3:45 tomorrow, live on Create and Craft. And my lovely friend Claire is on the same day at 12:45, we believe. So if you can tune in for both, that would be marvellous. Claire is back with her fabulous metallic paints. I have them, I have used them, I love them. Obviously I haven't had an opportunity to have a great play because we've been focusing on the step by step, but they will be making an appearance here in studio. And she's back, she's put some more stock in at Create and Craft, so she's back tomorrow with those, and they are at an absolute amazing price. So if you are interested in those, take a look at her show tomorrow at 12:45. See what she's got going on, because she's got some pretty awesome stuff going on at the moment, as the lovely Mrs. Manning, should we say. So that's a lovely day for you tomorrow. You get Claire and me in the same day over on Create and Craft. And today will be the last day that we do some tuition on step by step. And then on Friday, what we will do is we'll do something completely different. We'll dig out something which we've launched maybe ages and ages and ages ago, and we'll just have a good old play with some older products. So that's something to look forward to. Her angel wings are amazing. They are amazing. They look beautiful laid with vellum. Talking about vellum, we're going to use some vellum today actually. So just before I go any further, I'm going to put craft to one side, and I just wanted to say me, Tim and Tom are sending our wishes to Lorraine, her husband. I believe he's not very well and he's possibly been taken into hospital. So we are sending our love to you, Lorraine, as everyone else has been doing on here. And I hope he makes a speedy recovery, sweetheart, whatever happens. So fingers crossed. And do keep us up to speed as to what's going on, so we can all talk to you and just be there for you if you need us. Joyce Connolly. Yes, I got your message, sweetheart. I've sorted it. Don't you worry. That's all sorted. If you are waiting for messages from us, we are through them, I believe. So if you're sat and wondering what's happened, or if we haven't got back to you, we are nearly through them all now anyway for you. So you shouldn't have any problems. There is no mail today. We can't send any mail today, although they've all been bagged and ready to go. They don't take our franked mail on today's day, so it will all go tomorrow. So thank you all for tuning in every single day, everyone. It really is appreciated. And this is the hour to take our minds off day to day, isn't it? And I spoke to a few people this morning, and they've been saying that they have been waiting all day for 3 o'clock, which is lovely. I do appreciate a lot of you are probably at home on your own, and the only face that you see is me. So I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but if you are tuning in, Welcome everybody. If you are on YouTube, don't forget to click the subscribe button. Don't forget to click the little HD button, and that gives you a better visual of what's actually being transmitted through YouTube. And also, if you are on Facebook, don't forget to pop a comment. I do pick a winner from the live feed here in studio and on Facebook's comments as well, and then I send out a card. I have chosen a winner today, and that lovely lady has messaged me, so you will be getting a lovely card through the post, whether it be from me or the design team. I do just pick a card at random and send it out to you, so well done. So is there anything else we need to talk about? Are we up to date? So the stamp that we're going to be working on today is this lovely one here, which is the lovely stairs. I'll just move my cup of tea out of the way. Don't forget to remind me to drink it. So we're going to be using the lovely stairs today. This is the last day, but it's not the end of the stamp. It's not the end of the tuition with it. It'll probably reappear later in the year, or be incorporated in with some of our newer products maybe. So, you know, we do encourage you to continue to use your stash after the live tuition, but it is on YouTube and it never goes away. So this is the one that we're going to be using today, and this is the first one. You can go back and buy this one if you want to. So if you do want any of our products, all you need to do is go to www.stampsbyme.co.uk, and in the search engine pop FBL, and that takes you to all the products that we have used in studio and all the Craft Academy stamps. Now for you lovely savvy crafters that are, what's the word I'm looking for, who are general crafters, who are genuine buyers of Stamps by Me, if you do go to FBL, you will see there are some Tim Holtz distress ink pads on there, and I've popped the Tim Holtz mini distress tin on there too. These are all products that we've got in shop, but are not on our website. So due to you all saying on the live feed last time that you wanted some ink pads and some tins and things like that, I spent the evening yesterday getting them all online for you. So if you were after those little mini tins, which is these ones, I did pop them on FBL for you. And I have popped the large distress inks on there for you, and over the course of the week I'll start loading some of the products on the website that are in the shop. So if you are actually after something, it might be worth personal messaging me and telling or asking me if I've got it, and I will try and get them loaded on. It's really time consuming though, guys. I haven't put that many on. It takes ages and ages, but you know, a lot of you have been saying you wanted them, so I took the time last night to pop them on for you. So if you do want them, that's where they are. Albeit probably most of you will have them in your stash at home anyway and are good to go, which is also great. So let's do some crafting, shall we? Oh, one thing, sorry, just to show the other two stamps. So the next stamp in the Craft Academy is the beautiful trees, and as you can see, I've shuffled them down a little bit for you so you can see the tuition that is coming as of next week for this lovely stamp here. So these are the ones here, and then the third week we did the swing, which is this beautiful one here. So you can see there that they are huge stamps. So that is the swing, this is the trees, so they are a good size on there, for pretty big, probably bigger than most. And then you see the lovely tuition for the lovely swing over on that side. So we've got lots to go at. Every Monday I launch the next stamp in the Craft Academy. So if you've all seen the stamps, all of them, there's 12 in total, and I have shown them a few times. I'm not going to show them today though, because it's becoming a little bit boring. But if you do want to go back and have a look at the ones where I have shown you, does anybody want to take a guess on Facebook which stamp is going to be next? And I'll see if anybody gets it right. Just something to have a play with. So the fourth stamp on Monday, which one is it going to be? Which do you think it's going to be? So let's have a look, see if there's any questions. I don't think there'll be any questions today because I haven't told you anything different than what I tell you all day, every day when we're here live. We are live every single day at 3 o'clock. So lots of new faces again. We are growing so big and the family is amazing. So welcome everybody. So in today's studio, we are going to use the lovely step-by-step stairs, and you can see mine is well loved. Drink my tea. The hands, the window, the blossom. Ooh, I can't cheat now, can I? They are all set on what's going to be in what. So how many of you are crafting along today? let me know. Yep. Oh, great. There is some people crafting along. Fabulous. That's great. Any of the products that we use are on our FBL on our website. But as always, the channel is more about the inspiration than you buying the products, albeit we do love you to buy our products. You will probably have something in your stash that will work. So in today's first demonstration, you're going to need some vellum if you've got any, maybe. So I'm telling you now so you can quickly run off and grab something. So we're going to need a bit of vellum and some embossing powder. So we used embossing powder yesterday, so you've probably still got that one on your desk. I'm going to be using the lovely thirsty brush one with the pattern on, but plain vellum will do the job just as good. It's just fortunate for me that I have the one with the pattern on, and these are the ones what I've shown you time and time again, where you get the beautiful variation in patterns. As you can see, this is my second set, and you get all the lovely floral sizes. You get some blue ones with pattern on, and then you get your lovely ones where you've got a large one in the centre. They're absolutely beautiful. So you're going to need a little bit of vellum. Once the cat gets off my Eureka, Jules. That's funny. A lot of people have cats on the desks, don't they? So what we're going to do first of all is I'm just going to pop this vellum into my Eureka. Now there's a couple of ways that we could do it, and I honestly don't think this vellum, I've got a really itchy nose today and I don't know why, I'm turning into a witch. So I don't think there is a right or wrong way as to which side you work on. So I'm going to go this side, and I'm going to put, mind you, does it look brighter on that side? I'm not sure. I don't think it really matters. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop this piece of vellum into my Eureka, and we're going to grab our lovely stairs. I'm just going to pop this over to this side a little bit. Now what you need to do if you are crafting along, obviously my image is going to catch this beautiful detail on here, and I'm not overly bothered about it, to be honest, is you need to leave a space down this side and a space down this side, because it's going to be a wrap on a card. So don't do your stamp like right to the edge, okay? It needs to be centralised, so you've got a wrap on both sides. Now looking at that vellum, I do think that it is brighter on this side, so I'm going to use the other side. Let me just see how I can get the picture better. So you might be using just normal vellum at home, nothing patterned, but if you have got a patterned one, do try it out, because I think the look will be quite pretty actually. So I'm just going to pull this down here like so, so I get a bit of the detail on those stairs, not much, but I'm being mindful I'm leaving those banners down the side, okay? So I think we'll go about there. Let's go for it. What's the worst that could happen, hey? She says. Drink, drink, drink. Use Adele. If you haven't got vellum, sweetheart, have you got an insert, something that's a little bit thinner that can create a dome on your card? So maybe a flimsy piece of cardstock, or an insert, or something like copier weight paper, something a little bit thinner than your traditional cardstock. Or maybe just try it on card, it might work, sweetheart. Patterned paper, patterned card, try that. Toni, have I got the glitter overlays for my pens? I have, and they will be loaded on as soon as I get a second, Linda. Linda, if you are desperate for them, please PM me which numbers or which colours, or take a picture of your pens, and I will pop the ones on straight away, and then gradually get them all loaded on there. If you are urgent for them, sweetheart, I don't mind doing that. So what I'm going to do is, because we're going to heat emboss, I am going to use my anti-static bag and keep it nice and tidy. So let's get, and basically this just gets rid of any moisture in your card or your vellum. Yeah, if you've had a call from me today, it's just been about a few orders. So I'm just inking this with a sticky ink pad all over. I'm just gonna, sorry guys, I'm just gonna hydrate my embossing ink pad here because these lights really are drying it out. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of ink to this here. There we go. Sometimes the lights in here really don't help, so I'm just going to ink this one up. Lots of light taps all over my stamp, get rid of that fluff. Yep, so I'm going to stamp this one out onto the lovely vellum. So don't worry if you haven't got patterned. Maybe if you haven't got vellum, like I just said there for Adele, maybe grab a piece of patterned paper or an insert, you know, where you can buy inserts for cards with a pretty picture on the corner or something like that. So let's take this off slowly because I have just rehydrated my ink pad. So I'm just going to do it one more time because the centre looks like it's missed there and a little bit on my flowers. But other than that, I think we're good to go. Yeah, so the ink pad is Thirsty Brush. It's on our website. It's actually on FBL, I believe. And you can buy, you get the ink pad and the refill, I believe. I can't remember, to be honest. If not, look in our embossing section. There we go. So you can see the sort of like ghost image on there. There we go. So you'll see now when we come to pop our colour on how gorgeous it's going to look. I'll just set that one aside. I'll just grab a piece of card to catch my embossing powder. So the ink pad should be on there, and then there's a re-inker as well. And I'm just going to use the gold, which is also Claire's, as you all know, I love this one. And I'm just going to pop the gold all over. I have a feeling this is going to look amazing. I think the embossing ink pad stays sticky for, or a printed or a stamped out image, are you asking there, Mrs. Lawson? Do you mean the stamped out image, how long it stays sticky for? Lorraine, you are so funny, yours has nearly run out. This is the one that I was trying to dig out of the bottom yesterday. It's got a little tiny bit in, and I've just got myself another one now. I can't live without these things. You have to have these in your stash, don't you? Crazy. And I think it's like I always say, when you find something you love and it works, you just never change, you never deviate from it. It's like if you've fallen in love with a specific glue or a specific type of card, you just stay with it, don't you? Both, please. Right, so if the sticky ink pads, it will, I think it's got a glycerin content in there, so it stays sticky for a long, long time. But I'm under these extreme lights and I don't think that helps. So obviously keep your lid on them. But when you stamp out an image, it just stay wet for quite a long time. It never actually goes off, if that makes sense. It'll never go hard. It'll stay quite tacky, probably forever until it's heat set with something. I don't think you could leave it overnight and then add your embossing powder the next day. I believe it'll probably be hit and miss, but yeah, it stays sticky for a long time. So you've got time to put it to one side, tidy up, then put your powder on and things like that. So I'm just getting rid of any of the embossing powder that's decided it don't want to play ball. Just using a dry brush. Give it a blow, and you can see there if you can see there on my mat. It'll look beautiful when we've heat set it. So let's grab our heat gun. And always get your gun really, really hot. Cup of tea. Thank you, Shirley. Always get your gun really, really hot, and what happens is the less time spent on your project, particularly vellum, the less wave you get. So get your gun like really, really as hot as possible. So maybe have a drink of your tea or something, and then the less time on your card, the less ugly. Because sometimes you see the cards and they're like that. It's not very easy on the eye. So get your gun as hot as possible. And then as soon as you put the heat onto your vellum or your cardstock, it'll change instantly, and that's where you get less warp in your card. Right, so I'm just going to pop this onto the vellum here, and as you can see, did you see that there? As soon as I popped it on there, I'll try and get a, there we go. And then just chase that powder. And then just give it a second to settle. Oh, missed a little spot there. There we go. And then when you see if it shows there. Can you see that there? How gorgeous is that? There we go, you can see when I tilt it back and forth. But this is where we're going to create a little bit of a domed effect card, which is going to be, look, pretty lovely. But you can see here, look, this is vellum. And you can see when I lay it flat on my table, you've still got the little bit of the wave. Can we see that there? I've got a little bit of a raised part here and a little bit of a raised part here. But you imagine if your gun wasn't hot, it would probably look like that. So get the key to good embossing is get your gun hot before you go anywhere near your card. Okay, right, so let's get something sort of like made out of this. So I'm just going to grab my guillotine and I'm just going to trim off this edge here. So we have probably about the same width here. So this side is probably about an inch, maybe a little bit bigger. And I'm just going to do the same along this side. Can we see that there? So gorgeous. So I'm just going to grab some white cardstock, and the cardstock is just about the same size as the stamp actually in height. So let's just tell you what it is, just in case you are crafting along and you want to do the same. 19 tall, 19 centimetres tall. So let's just show you, for example, what sort of effects you can obviously get. If you stick the vellum direct onto card, it looks beautiful. If you give it a little bit of a raised element, it looks a bit, again, ghost-like. It's sort of floating, and that's what we're going to try and do today. So with this white piece of card here, I'm going to try and capture the best part of this image, like so. So I need to make sure my image is on my card at the very least, like so. And can you see we've got like the same width each side, this side and this side? Yeah. And then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn it over and I'm just going to fold one side down, like so. I'm not going to do both sides, and you'll see why in a second. So you can see there we've created like a wrap around there. Now you could just fold this behind and have a flat piece onto some white card. That would look equally as beautiful. But what we're going to do first of all is we are going to trim this down. So let's see which part of the image is the best. And the great thing about using this pattern vellum here, look, is the top corner here. I'm getting that lovely vellum creeping over this piece of card at the top, which is really, really nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this vellum down so it's the same height as this piece of white cardstock. Can we see that there? So it sits nicely on this piece of white. So I'm just going to mark it with my fingernail because I don't measure, as you all know. Oh, I'm just going to pop it into my guillotine and then we'll trim it off. Like so. Then I'll pop it back on my card, see where we're at. And then I'll pop a little mark here at the bottom. And I'll pop that in my guillotine. Like so. So we should have a piece of vellum now the same size as our card. Like so. So we can see what's going on there. Can we see that there? Yeah, don't worry if you see any rogue comments. It's just spam. It's just people trying to obviously advertise businesses or things like that. It's no great shakes really, but we do remove them because they are a little bit distraction, but it will always happen on YouTube, unfortunately. So what I'm going to do is I'd like a little bit of a hump in the centre of this card. Can we see, if you push it slightly, can you see the hump that you get there? I'd like to create, so when you look down, can you see you've got like an arch on the card? Not very straight at the moment, but if you have it flat, it looks like that. But if you give it a push, you get like an arch. Does that make sense? And I would like the arch. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create myself a little bit of an arch on there, not much. Then I'm just going to turn it over and I'm just going to give myself a wrap around. So when you stick the two arches down, you get this lovely, there we go, can you see the arch over the top there? You absolutely do not have to do this, but I just think it elevates your card a little bit if you do give it the arch across the top. So let's get this adhered to our piece of card. And the good thing about this as well, guys, is obviously when you're trying to adhere vellum, you can see through the vellum and you can see all the nasty either glue or tape or whatever you've been using. So this is a great way to hide that because your makings are going to be behind. So let's just pop some tape on this side. And then we'll grab our piece of white card, make sure it's clean. Drink, drink. So let's just pop this in. So I'm going to, the best way to do it is do one, don't do them both together, do one and then create yourself the hump and then adhere the second one. So let's just go with this one on the right first. So I'm going to adhere that score line and I'm just going to push that one behind. So I've adhered one side, you can see there, and then I'm just going to slightly push the card up to our second score line and I'll push that behind and do that one. And then you end up with like this, as my son would say, a claw. So you end up with like this sort of effect here, so you can put your hand down. There we go, can we see that there? I'll just show you on the front there so you can see how gorgeous it looks. It's really, really pretty. It's not finished yet though. So we need to get, this card is coming together beautifully. So what we need to do now is, if you've got some of the vellum left, instead of wasting it, let's do our sentiment on some vellum too. So let's just grab our Eureka. Now I'm going to be using one of the stamp sets from the lovely Academy. So let's just remove this one for now. I might get some of that detail in if I can. You see, because of this offcut here we've got going on, I've got a little score line in there because I've cut it from the piece that we just did. So I'm going to use that score line and wrap it around my next piece. So I'm going to go with Thank You. And this is from one of the stamp sets that's coming up in the Craft Academy. So let's go Thank You on here. Oh, it's quite a big one. Nothing new there, hey? Move my magnet around. So I'm going to heat emboss this one too. So I'm just going to anti-static. And then we're going to use our sticky ink pad. And we'll do it in the same colour so it's in keeping with our theme. And we'll we'll stamp this one out. And these sorts of sentiments are quite sketchy, which is lovely as well. So if you're not the best stamper in the world, it's actually okay. So let's just grab some scrap card or something to catch my embossing powder on there. Have I missed some questions there? Sorry, I've been concentrating on what's been going on. Have you subscribed to Stamps by Me on YouTube? Is somebody missing something? Missing out on something? So you can see there, you get a lovely thank you, and I have purposely popped it into that image because I really want the image to reflect down into my sentiment too. What people are watching on mobile phones. There we go. So let's heat set this one again. My gun's probably warm from before. And then we'll heat set this one quickly. So you can see there the lovely thank you. And what we're going to do is we're going to do exactly the same as what we just did on our, see if a bit might fit. Got a piece of white scrap card there. What we're going to do is we're going to do a wrap so the vellum sits on the white. Can we see that there? And then it shows beautifully through that lovely vellum on there. So we need to trim our vellum down. Let's first of all trim the, oh, see, I nearly giddy kipper there. I nearly cut the end off, and I would have forgotten about the little hinge I need to wrap it behind to hide our makings. So let's just make it a little bit thinner. So if you are doing that wrap, you must always ensure you leave those little hinges like so. Oops. What are you all buying? There's nothing there to buy. You've all got the stamp. What are you all buying? So, as you can see, I've got this piece of white here. That's not cut very straight, but hey ho. And you can see that if you do a wrap around that side, look, the thank you element sits over that piece of white cardstock there. Can we see that? So I just need to trim this piece of white cardstock so we can do our wrap around. Oh, you're getting some comments on your camera work there, Tim. So I'm taking my work out of shot there. I'm doing it just as if I'm doing it by myself. So I'm just going to trim my card down so it reflects the thank you in there. So basically, you're just creating a wrap around with your vellum again. And if you're using a different size sentiment to me, the white is to only help your heat emboss sentiment pop with the white cardstock underneath, okay? So let's do our wrap behind. So again, I'm just going to pop some tape on this side. Now this wrap, if you've noticed, is bigger than this white, but I think it looks quite effective because it's not the same size. So basically I am just lining that white card up underneath the word thank you as straight as possible. And then I'll twist that behind there. So that sits behind there. Can we see there? Oh, sorry. So that's one side already adhered, and then we just need to straighten it up a little bit, best you can, so it doesn't look wonky. And then place it face down, pop a little bit of tape behind this one, and then just pick up that excess vellum. And So this one hasn't got a hump in it, if that makes any sense at all. It's just an absolute flat piece. So you get this beautiful sort of banner effect on there for you. And then this one can be 3D'd onto your image. Looks cool, doesn't it? So let's get this card constructed. So we have our lovely vellum piece that we've popped onto our white card, and I've got a piece of gold here. So you need a matte and layer piece. I do like the mirror border gold, if you haven't gathered by now, or black or craft. Okay, so if you look here now, if you mount this onto this piece of gold here, you get a beautiful like border, which is going to elevate your work there. Can we see that there? There we go. So you can see instantly it's not floating. That's without. And then as soon as you mount it onto something with a border, your artwork then comes to life. It's no longer floating. So let's pop this onto our piece of gold mirror card, if my pen allows. Oh. And then you just need to, sorry, I'm just going to have to lean in and stick this onto your gold as straight as you can. And then you get this sort of look. So you can see now how it's mounted onto our work. It looks way, way better as soon as you mount it. So let's pop this onto our top folding note card, and I am going to pop some pads behind this one. I know you didn't want me to mount it, or should I say you weren't fussed about me mounting things, but I really felt this one was important due to it being vellum. So I'm just going to quickly go ahead and pop some pads down the centre here. So if you haven't got this stamp, that's okay. You will have something in your stash that you can stamp onto some vellum and do the wrap around. So maybe you've got some flower stamps or some of our earlier products. They will all work with this technique. And I'm hoping that every technique that I have shown you over the course of the last 3 days on this stamp, you could use with practically anything you've got in your stash. I really do. And then I have this top folding note card here, and then I was going to, I'm going to have to lean over again, aren't I? Sorry. I was just going to foam pad this one right in the centre at the top there. Make sure you get that nice arch on that piece there. So you've got like a dome over your artwork there. And then the lovely piece where we've got thank you is too big, which is fine. So that lovely piece that I actually liked, you know, this bit here, we are going to have to take off because it's too big. Mind you, I could have pushed that up a little bit, but it's too late now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my scissors and cut along the white card. What a shame. I actually liked that effect, but hey ho, these things happen. So I've just cut it in line with the white card so it matches, and I'll do the same across the top. So we've still got a beautiful effect there, just haven't got that beautiful overhang on there, and now it fits in there beautifully. Can we see that there? So let's pop this on some pads too. It probably could do with being mounted onto some gold, so it coordinates with your arch here, but for time I'm just going to go with it. You can mount yours onto any pretty papers or gold or whatever you want, can't you? It's just the idea for you. This, if you wanted to do a smaller card, you could obviously do the over the corner if you wanted to do a small card, if you don't want to do it as big as mine. And then this piece is going to sit in here. And then that piece hopefully will give us a nice arch in our work. And there we have a pretty but very different card. So something, shall I say something different? Probably not something different, but it does look different if you do use different products. So it is just your general heat embossed card, isn't it? But just used in a different fashion really. I'm being asked a question, it's really difficult to read. My eyes are pretty bad actually. So I'm being asked a lovely question from Anne Nisbet, is it? What's the best way of adding an image onto plain vellum? Do you colour from the back? If you wanted to colour your images onto vellum, sweetheart, it's best that you do it from the back and do it with alcohol markers because they are permanent, so you get a better result if you do it with alcohol markers, but always do it on the back and it comes through the front softer. In fact, let's just show you that here, look. I have this piece of vellum here and I have an alcohol marker. I'll just quickly show you what result you get if you do it the two different ways, Anne. So this is the back. So just give the alcohol ink opportunity to evaporate. So this is the back, and then when, just let that dry. There we go. And then when you turn it over, look how soft it is. Can we see that there? It's beautiful. But if you do it from the front, just give that a chance to dry. It's just a little bit more intense. I'm not sure if you can see that. So if you colour from the back, you get a softer finish. So it depends on what look you're sort of trying to achieve. This is a little bit darker than this. This gives you a more smooth blend if you do it from the back. Here is a little bit more edgy, should we say, if that helps. Yeah, Tracy, Santa creeping up the stairs would be good. Wouldn't it be nice to have a staircase like that though? Mine's just a staircase with a carpet on it, nothing fancy. But anyway, so there's card number one, and I hope that's helped you there, sweetheart, with the colouring onto vellum. So we'll move this, we'll pop this onto our lovely Hall of Fame, which is just behind me, this side. We'll pop it on there, so we'll have lots of lovely cards to look at and revisit and play with. So for our second demonstration, we're going to do a little bit inky. And what we're going to do is we're going to grab a piece of white card, and my son's at the door, watching through the door. I don't think he wants to come in, sweetheart. I think he's just watching. So we're going to do, anybody who's asking about Tom, he is doing some more portraits, but he has homeschooling and it's proving a little bit difficult. You know, mum and dad do not know best. So he is doing it. But it's not easy, should we say. So yes, you will be seeing some more portraits. So I'm just going to grab my Eureka here, because I'm just going to use the lid, because I don't want to mucky my mat. So I'm just using the top of my Eureka. If you haven't got a Eureka, a glass mat, your messy mats, whatever you've got in your stash will all work. So I'm just going to pop that stamp up there. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to use some normal. He hasn't been in my gems today, Lorraine. No, we've been schooling this morning, and he's actually on his scooter at the moment, up and down the shop. He didn't want to sit in today, which is fine. He doesn't have to listen to mummy talking all day. I'm sure it becomes quite boring for him. So what we're going to do is I'm going to use the mini ink pads, and like I said to you earlier, if you are wanting the mini ink pads, I will get them loaded onto the system. I'm sort of like chipping away at it. I'm spending a couple of hours each evening to chip away at it, because the staff that would normally do that are obviously not here, and don't have access to the systems at home. So I will chip away at it, but I have loaded some on there, some of the bigger ones, and I have loaded the tins. But like I say, most of you will probably have them. So what I'm going to do on this one is we're going to create a really thin card. Even though the stamp is huge, we're going to scale it down and show you that you don't have to use all of the image. So in all of the cards that we've done so far, we have actually used all of the, have we broke? we haven't actually just used a segment of the stamp in just one card. So that's what we're going to do now, something a bit different. So I'm just using my general everyday distress inks. I've got 2 tins here. That's all I've got. This is all I own. And I'm going to use Candied Apple. Now I'm just putting it onto the top of my Eureka here. If you might have the big ones, the little ones, or alternative inks, whatever water-based inks you've got will work. And what I like to do best is I like to do the colours in sections and dry between each section, and you get a little bit of texture. So I'm just wetting this card here, but I'm not going for the all over splodge. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the left hand side of my card in and I'm going to drag it across. So I just get it down this side. Can we see that there? I don't want this splodge in the middle. I want the ink to be on the side. Like so. Can we see that there? So now you would use that ink, but just for the purpose of the demo, I'm going to clean it away. And I am using normal cardstock here, and it will saturate and it will probably cockle because it is normal cardstock, but I'm okay with it. So let's go for a purple too. So I've got Wilted Violet here. So let's pop some Wilted Violet on. And again, we'll spritz it with a little bit of water. Oops. And then I'm just going to drag through. So then you get a mix of purple in there. Can we see that there? There we go. So I'm getting like a splodge on the side. And that's exactly the look I'm going for, and you will see why in a second. There we go. So we're getting a lovely like colour on the side there, and it's not a full piece. So let's just clean that one away. And let's go for a little bit of fossilised amber too. Now, if you want to dry between layers, you will get like a bit of a more textured look, but I'm just literally going for it. Literally. And then let's get a little bit of yellow scooped on here. You see that there? There we go. So I'm happy with that. It's just one side. So all you need to do is sort of like drag your card through as if you're mopping something up. Okay? Let's just clean that off. And let's just dry this one. I'm drinking my tea, I'm doing it. Thank you, Tina. Hey Tina, I've been looking at your fabulous work with all the Pearly Winks products. Really, really talented. Really, really lovely work, well done. So I'm just drying this one off. Come on in then, sweetheart, come on. And as you can see with watercolours, as always, they always dry back lighter, so do have the courage to go a little bit darker than you would traditionally do, because you'll only have to go back over with more colour. So what I'm going to do now, make sure it's absolutely dry or else I won't get a print from my stamp. It is normal cardstock, so it will hold moisture probably more than any. There we go. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to pop this into our Eureka, and we're just going to use maybe the bit where we've got the lovely flowers on there. Let's see how much we can get on. So I'm just going to pop that into the Eureka there, and then I'm going to grab the stamp and I'm going to push it over just a little bit like so. Can we see that there? So I'm taking it right to the edge of that colour. I'm taking it actually over a little bit because my card is going to be a DL card. So I just like to get the suggestion of the stairs in there too, because People might not know it's a set of stairs otherwise. So there are so many of the ink pads, Jan, it's a nightmare. You do not need them all, sweetheart. You really, really do not. Pick your core colours, what you know you're going to use, your floral colours, because the browns do dilute down to lighter vintage colours. You don't need them all. You really don't. Right, so let's grab a black ink pad, and hopefully this is the one that is not dried out. And I'll just ink up the part that I really need. So I know that the vase is going to be in there, and I know that the sweep on the stairs is going to be there, hopefully. So let's see. Right, so Sheila, the My Adventure stamp starts on I've lost track of days. So tomorrow I'm on TV. That's Thursday, isn't it? And then Friday. Well, we did say we were starting the tuition on the Friday, so it will be Friday, sweetheart. This Friday. But if you don't have the stamp, don't worry. We do 3 sessions. I've done 3 on this one, haven't I? So we'll probably do the same on the You Are My Adventure. Look at that. There isn't actually no ink on there. That is totally dried out, my ink pad. Let's swap it out. So Friday, 3 o'clock, sweetheart, we'll be doing My Adventure, which is this lovely tree one here. So I love scenes. So mind you, I love them all. I'm a true crafter. So let's try this ink pad this time, because that did little to nothing. So if you've got your stamp already, so with regards to supplies then, with that one, for the first one on Friday, you are going to need, if you have them, watercolour pens and a blending tool or brush, and just your traditional things that we've used over the course of this stamp. So your black ink pad, some white and black card, a bit of embossing powder. But for Friday, sorry, you are going to need a blending brush, whether that be mine or one of the traditional blending brushes with the foam applicators. Then that's Friday at 3. Let's hope this prints better. Thank goodness for that. Do you think I need a new ink pad? I need foam pads, I need ink pads. So tomorrow I'll be showing you on Create and Craft, a lot of you have probably already got the stuff. It's the glitter sparkle pens and Sending Sunshine collection, and it's just basically what's left. So if you are interested in any of the products, I'm there tomorrow, but if you have got them, I'll be there doing some demos. Crikey. We'll do it one more time, the stamp, eh? Come on ink pad, don't let me down. So let's hope we've got a clearer image now. I'm just going to go with it because that's the 3rd time I've done it. My ink pad is literally dried out. So I'm just going to dry that with my gun. And what we're going to do is we are just going to add your traditional splats. So I'm just taking a little bit of the ink from the colours that I used, and I'm just using my brush, mixing up some of the red, and then I'm just going to tap it onto there, just to give it a little bit of a different feel than all of our other cards. Our other cards have been quite clean, haven't they? So let's chop it up a little bit. A bit of stencil background around the sides would look quite pretty on this one too, I think. But I'm really going to town with these splats because I really want it to look different to the ones that we've already done. So Again, these splats will probably dry back to nothing, so I am literally going to town with them. Karen, yep, our generation inks. Me and Tim were talking about this yesterday when I was loading the Tim Holtz inks on the website. Because obviously we've packed down studio and all my stuff is still in boxes, my generation inks are somewhere in the bottom of a box somewhere. But my craft room is nearly complete and everything is getting dug out. So it will be back to my good old generation inks, absolutely. They've not been made redundant or anything, sweetheart. They will be showing again as soon as my craft room's sorted. So let's just get a tidy station going on here. Set that aside. Now I have a piece of black cardstock here. We did start late today though, didn't we? So I'm okay. I'm getting the nod. So let's just grab our guillotine here. I'm just going to take a little bit of the work off the top. The card is a little bit big for this piece of black card here. I'm just creating myself a nice mat and layer. As you know, I don't measure, so and DL cards are so understated, I find. People just don't do them, I'm not sure why. I love DL cards. And then we'll just stick this onto here. So how easy is this card? Just swiping that ink like as if you're mopping it up. There we go, I'll just trim that edge off. So you can see by just using the focal point of the stamp, i.e. the flower vase, how pretty it is and how you can create slim cards, small cards, big cards, small cards. We've done so many, haven't we? And then we've got a DL card here, which I'm just going to pop onto there. Like so. And then just to finish, I would get my sparkle pen and just add some sparkle to the flowers, not to it all today. Be mindful though, it is a reactive ink underneath. And then pop a sentiment on somewhere on there too. So an inky one, so something a little bit different. So let's grab the cards. So totally different card really, a bit of an inky one. There we go, and same stamp, two different ways. So super, super easy. 6x6 DL cards, yeah, they're beautiful cards too. I do like the smaller cards, but I do like stamps that give you the versatility to be able to do both, don't you? If the stamp's too small, I struggle to fill the gaps. I don't know why, I just cannot see beyond the size of the stamp, and that's just me as a crafter. So I hope you've enjoyed that one. So I will post a picture after studio on these for you, just to show you. So if you didn't not maybe keep up with the class, or you want to watch it later or rewind it later, you can do that too. So whatever you're all doing, I hope you're going to have a lovely evening. I will be on TV tomorrow, as you know. Click that record button because I'm not sure if the catch up is still available on there for you. And I will be back on Friday with You Are My Adventure. So you need to get your stamp set out and we will move on to Craft Academy number 2. I have a feeling 12 weeks is going to go like that, don't you? Don't you think already? I mean, we've launched set 3, which is the beautiful swing. And then on Monday I launched the 4th stamp in the collection. So whatever you're doing, stay safe, stay cosy, and I will see you all tomorrow on Create and Craft and Friday at 3 p.m. Take care everyone, bye.